Joining me now is Bonkosi Kanyile, who has walked all the way from Isandlwana. Tell me, Bonkosi, long walk from Isandlwana to the union buildings with a set of demands. Are you happy with how the march went, and were you able to hand over your memorandum of grievances to the presidency?
Definitely, my brother. In fact, I feel like a born again, because on our way, South Africans have received us. Remember, we began a walk on conscious basis. We never had anything. We just decided that we're walking and we don't have a place to sleep. We never had any food and so on and so forth. But the communities took care of us. On our way, we're able to engage different communities to hear their plight, to ask them what is the message that they wish we deliver to the office of the president. But of course, one of the fundamental issues that we're raising and highlighting is the question of youth unemployment and the question of ensuring that Kenyatta is set free from prison.
So was it just about Kenyatta, or was it broader? Was it about other fees must fall activists? You yourself are awaiting sentencing following that conviction for public violence and a few other offences last year.
No, it was broad. Remember, we are saying there must be general amnesty and all fees must fall, activists must be pardoned. But it's not my work. Mina, I'm saying it here live, and I don't care what happens on the 28th. Trust me, if they say I must go back to prison, I've already did my 6 months there in prison, so I'm familiar with prison life and so on and so forth. I don't care, but the plight of the people is the one that matters the most. And that if they send us back to prison on the 28th, we'll go there, serve our sentence and come back and continue the struggle.
So what are you asking the president to do? A sort of blanket pardon for anyone convicted in relation to offences that occurred during the protests by students?
Definitely. We are saying he must release Kenyatta. Kenyatta was sent to prison on the 4th of December 2017. He enjoyed 2017, yes. Yeah. So it's over the year now. He had his second Christmas. This one was in prison, New Year in prison, for just participating in a call of fees must fall. Remember, there's a Tumamina shenanigans that is happening. And in their shenanigans, when they campaign, they say, Tumamina, we have delivered free education. Yet those people who are in the forefront were in the forefront of pushing for a cause and twisting the hand of government to deliver free education, they are kept in prison. So I'm saying, if you believe in a cause of free education, if you claim that we have delivered it, those who are in the forefront of it, please set them free, including Kenyatta, because he's the one who's currently beyond Lokunjan. Imagine if you had freedom fighters after the democratic dispensation, but we continue saying, no, Mandela remained behind because you were part of the plots against the apartheid government. If you believe in the freedom of us, then those who fought for freedom, they must be honored and not made criminals.
What will you say to some who will say that, I mean, just as your cause was fighting for free education, the violence that then did occur, I mean, you yourself, some of the your convictions come from your own admissions that you made in court, and in the case of Kenyatta, he's said to have participated in the burning of a police vehicle. What will you say to people who say, you know, society is based on rules. If you're going to protest and involve yourself in violence, you will face the consequences. Surely you should have known better.
Yeah, I'll tell them that they must ask us because we're there on the struggle. Trust us when we tell you. There was never any plot of violence. What we have done, we are responding to the violence. If you go back in the fees must fall, police were very brutal. In fact, all we have done, we are responding to the conditions that we're faced with on the ground. The slingshot tendency happened because the police were on top of us, heavily armed, dealing with us. So we had to respond. There was never any plot of us saying we want to be violent and so on and so forth. And many people who participate in fees must fall are people whom in class they perform, whom in class they are the ones who are leading academically. So why would we engage in ourselves in a program of destruction and violence unless it's in the defense mode?
What would you say is the impact on you? I mean, I heard you say earlier on that you don't mind what happens. You're pretty much willing to accept your fate if you are sentenced and told to go to jail when sentencing comes up. But what is the impact, if activists such as yourself, Kenyatta, of a criminal record and a conviction that stands on your record going forward? And what is your message to the president then regarding that?
The revolution and freedom fighters, it has always had a tendency of eating their own children. My message is that they've made us strong. we never knew that we can survive prison. Before Vismas Fall and prison life, we were scared of prison. Now we are 10 times more energized, determined, and focused. They've groomed us, made us better people by punishing us for a cause that we believed in. I'm saying to Mr. President, as young people, we are young people whom are focused, whom are woke, and who are clear on our cause. We want the country to be a country whereby all of us, we can stay peacefully, enjoy, and live a happy life. And we are willing to fight for that. For us to walk more than 495 kilometers, it has proven that we are determined on what we are doing. We never banned a clinic in a protest of our demands. We never banned any school. We walked peacefully, and we have said and endured storms, endured Sasan Lokunjan, and all of those things. And we came peacefully, delivered our memorandum.
Whatever happened to the process that you had started with the Justice Minister, Michael Masuta? Because, you know, in terms of how this goes, in terms of the presidential pardon, it has to start with the Department of Justice, then indicating to the presidency whether they support that application or not.
Yeah, we're in a process with him. Politicians, typical politicians, when we made a slip out there, he promised to be assisting us, ensuring that our process becomes faster. Immediately when we are off on a protest, then he's pulling off his legs. Then we restarted our campaign, came back and walked. When we initiated the walk, we were in talks with him, promised to come and attend to us. Immediately when we are 14 days of our walk, when you call him arriving on the 15th day of the walk, which was yesterday, he says, send an SMS to my confidant Kazuzu that is on a holiday. That was his response. But we're able to get someone from the Office of the Presidency in High Command who came and received our memorandum. Right. So we are glad that our memorandum has been received.
All right, Bonkos Kanyile, thank you so much for coming through, having walked a long distance. And, I'm relieved that you didn't have to resort to that slingshot that got you into so much trouble. Please remain seated while we continue. We'll be able to release you in just a moment. All right.